So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining in today's Open Art Studios webinar, which is powered by the project PALkonnect and by the partners from SENSUS, Sweden, RomPraha in Czech Republic, and a head association from Romania. So today's session is called Artworks and Storytelling of Social Inclusion Groups, and presenters will be Mr. Robert Serban, Ms. Sankatimis, Mrs. Sevdalina Kovářová Kostadinova, and Mrs. Erika Pihl, and Helen Riise. So the aims of today's training is to present you visual art, theater, and music of Roma people, refugees, and people with disabilities. So today's session is oriented to a more broad target group, and specific topics that will be addressed are Roma and visual art, Roma music, and the creativity and social awareness through drama with the Medis 5 cultural activity. Before proceeding, some general rules about the implementation of these sessions. First of all, you have already agreed through your registration, and in accordance with the GDPR, we inform you that the current note trainings are being recorded due to the project's requirements. If you don't wish to appear in the recorded version, then you can turn off your cameras, and that also applies to some screenshots that we'll ask you to take later during the webinar. Also, after I finish with this introduction, I will share with you in the chat a link for the attendance list. And please, we need you to sign this attendance list because it's really important for the project's requirements. And that also applies to the evaluation form I will ask you to fill in later on before closing today's session in order to give us your feedback about the implementation of the session. This is the attendance list I will share with you in a few minutes. You have to write your name and surname, the name of your send or your organization, or if you're a freelancer, the address and your signature. Now, for your signature, you can either drag and drop it. If you have it in an image, you can draw it in a Word document and then paste it, or you can just write your name. And this is the evaluation form I will share with you later on. It can be filled in either in your computer or in your mobile phones. And if you don't seem, due to any reasons, to have access to them right now, don't worry, because I will share them with you via email tomorrow too. Now, some rules of communication. First of all, in case of questions, please first raise your hand, and then once the respective trainer gives you permission, you can unmute yourself and speak. And okay, therefore your microphone should be muted during the whole session unless you're asking a question. As I mentioned before, the meeting is being recorded, so you can see an automatic message appear on top of your screen. I'm going to ask you to open your cameras later on in order to take some photos for promotional purposes. And please write your name and organizations correctly to appear in the attendance list so that I can contact you later on for your certificates in the attendance list and evaluation form. Now, before giving the floor to the trainers, this is today's agenda. We're already done with the first part, as you can imagine, with the welcome and registration. Then we will move on with the presentation of Mrs. Sevda from RomPraha about the visual art of Roma people. Then Mr. Robert will move on from a head foundation with gypsy music from the origins to the Manele. And lastly, Mrs. Erika Pihl and Helen Riise from SENSUS will take you through the storytelling and creativity through theater. And before closing the meeting, we'll have a discussion. Of course, you can raise your hands and ask questions or ask questions before closing the meeting, and then I will ask you to follow the link to the evaluation form. So that was all from me. Thank you so much for joining today, and without further ado, Sevda, you have the floor.
Thank you, Yorgos. Hello, good afternoon from me, from Prague. My name is Sevda, and me myself, I'm a visual artist, and it's an honor for me that I can present you today's first topic, the visual art of Roma people. So feel free to interrupt me. As Yorgos said, raise your hand and ask questions during the presentations, if any. If I don't see your hands, Yorgos, please give me a hey,
Sure.
so I know. I'll try to share my screen. Okay, I guess you see my screen, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we can start the presentation. It's the visual art of Roma people, as we said in the beginning, and here comes the content. In the beginning, we'll shortly say who is Roma, what is Romani, Roma and the art world, the visual art of Roma, and then we have the visual art of Roma people in the Czech Republic, because I'm representing the Czech Republic. We have 2 exercises, so let's hope that we'll have time to make them, so you can be also active, and our today meetings is going to be a bit more interactive. And here comes the big question: who is Roma? What is Romani? I know a lot of you are knowing this topic, are familiar with that, but I think it's important to explain, because sometimes I'm doing these workshops in the schools, and a lot of the younger children or youngsters, they just have no idea who or what Roma is. So Roma migrated from India to Persia in the Middle Ages, setting in the Byzantine territories. By the 13th century, they have arrived to the Balkans, and from there they moved all over Europe, and then to the whole world, actually. In my presentation, I use a lot of pictures. They all have names, and those are coming from my favorite Roma artist, Damian Lubé. As you see, the globe or the map, Gypsyland, it says that Roma are everywhere. Rom, actually, in Romani language, mean man or husband. It's nice, I like it, because it actually has a meaning, and it's like a human being. So it's important to call them Romas, humans, men. Just to not mix up, Roma, Romania, and Rome are not the same. Roma are an ethnic group with their culture, subcultural tribes and groups, and as we know, Rome is the capital of Italy, and Romania is one of my favorite countries on the Balkans. Where we have the word gypsies, where it comes from. In the 15th century, when the Roma people came to Europe from the northwest India, they had exotic clothes, darker skin, and Indian language, Romani language. Due to their oriental and exotic look, they were to be called Egyptians. The word later on turned into gypsies. So here it comes. The Roma people are not Egyptians, and they're coming from India, to make it clear. And now I have prepared for you a small exercise. So So it's, as I said, I'm going to try to keep it a bit more interactive. I'll ask you kindly to go to slido.com into your browser. Yorgo will also copy-paste the link into the chat. Once you go to slido.com, you see on my screen the link. You enter as a participant, and the code is here. It's very simple. Art, and just type the answers of the question, what do you imagine when we say Roma art? Okay, I'll enter Slido now, so please do the same. Slido.com. Please let me know if you have any problems to enter the site. Join as a participant. Oh, I can see you're writing already. That's cool. And please answer the question in words, in 1-2 words. What do you imagine when we say Roma art? I hope we'll create together a word cloud. Let's take a minute or two to enter your answers. I can see it's a lot about colors, music, dance, inspiration, crafts. They're really good at crafts, dancing. Okay. Thank you so much for participation. I'm just going to wait a bit longer because I can see 2 participants are typing. Great. And we can continue with the presentation. And this slide is the Roma and the art world. Art gives voice to the voiceless. And that's very powerful sentence, I think. And that's very important also. The Romani art is magnificent, is wonderful. It's very rich of symbols and stories and history. Unfortunately, it's overlooked. And it's a pity. It's good to learn more about it. We don't hear a lot about the contemporary Romani visual art scene, and that's a fact. More well-known and even famous are the Romani music, especially on the Balkans and in Spain. Everyone knows the Gypsy Kings, let's say. the dance, flamenco in Spain, the storytelling and film in Romania and in the former Yugoslavia countries. I love this picture, this piece of art. They're called wedding shoes, and you see that the artist is a man. What he did, he just took regular shoes and he made them a bit more Roma. Well-known Romani visual artists include Celia Stoica from Austria. This is one of my very, very best artists. The picture you see on the screen is hers. She is a survivor of the Holocaust. Then I have in the list few more names. Some of them are more famous, but I think for the general public they're not known, and it's a pity. I already mentioned Damien Lebet from the United Kingdom. He's here on with Deliane. It's his girlfriend or partner. I can mention also Daniel Baker. He's absolutely amazing also. And maybe you've heard of Picasso. Yeah, he was also from Romania region. Let's go to the next slide. On the next slide, on this slide, I'm proposing two links, two sources on the internet, which you can visit. And I'll ask you to do it right away. So, Yorgos, please paste into the chat the two links on the screen. The Roma Archive is an amazing web page. Please visit it. It's actually a digital archive of the Roma. It makes art and culture of Roma visible, illustrating their contribution to the European cultural history. The other one is a daily art magazine, and in there it's a bit more in text explained and in stories the story of the Romani art, visual art. Also very nice page to visit. Those two pages are presenting the Roma art internationally. And here comes another link. It's from the Czech Republic. As I promised in the beginning, I will also share with you some Romani art from the Czech Republic. This piece, or this picture, is coming from the Museum of Romani Culture. If you can imagine, in the Czech Republic, in Brno, we have this museum, and it's quite unique. It's really very nice museum. Here it says on the slide, it's the only museum of its kind in all of Europe. It begins in the 1991, so it's already 21 years of existence, long time of existence. And they have different funds, but for us will be interesting the fine arts. So this is one link. Please, Yorgos, paste it also in the chat. And the other link, and this is the last one to visit. It's a link to an exhibition in Prague, and it's cool. I choose it because the exhibition is now on, and it's in the National Museum. It's in the cooperation of the Museum of Romani Culture Brno. and it's presenting actually the contemporary artists from Roma origin. Here are the names also on the slide. Yes. And here comes the next exercise. Please surf the sources presented. They are all displaying Romani visual art. Links are in the chat. We'll do this for about 8 minutes, and then we can shortly talk about what you discover watching the Romani art. Okay, so at 4:30, I'll open the questions for you. Meanwhile, feel free to visit the links, and I will project some of the pages, but I'm not going to comment them because I don't like to. I don't want to interrupt you. Do you have any questions? Hello there. Let's come slowly back. I hope you enjoyed the 8 minutes with the Romani art. I hope you had the chance to visit at least one of the pages, one of the sources I've shared with you. And now I have an exercise for you. We can answer the questions. I prepared two questions for you, but it's good enough to answer maybe just one. And you may open your microphone and just say it, or write it in the chat. So question 1 is, please write the name of one visual artist from Roma origin you know, or you just learn he or she exists. Just one name in the chat. And then for the experts who like visual art, who is your favorite Roma artist? I have another question. So please share with us. All the names you can find also in the links I've shared with you, or maybe you personally know somebody from Romania region who is an artist. So just type in the chat his or her name. Because I don't see the chat, maybe I can stop sharing, Yorgos?
Yes, of course. There are some answers in the chat right now.
Okay, so we can have some discussion. Yeah, Picasso. Wow, Barbara from the Czech Republic, beautiful. Thank you so much. Yarabila, I love her. I will ask maybe if it's possible, if you can share with us a few things. Maybe Bruno, he said his favorite is Otto Miller. So maybe if he would like to a little bit describe the
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, I know that he's, well, I mean, I think his origin is from Sinti. I don't know how to say in English, but yeah, I think his mom was Sinti. And well, I like him because because I like expressionism, and he was one of the founder of the Die Brücke and the Der Blaue Reuter, alongside with Wassily Kandinsky and many others. So yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Just a pleasure.
And maybe Barbara, if she has the microphone today, I'm not sure.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Barbara. If you can share with us, because I see you wrote a lot of names of Roma artists from the Czech Republic. Maybe you can describe Erika Pihl or Ida Kelarova.
Sure. So Ida is really my favorite person, but mostly from musician. I have to tell you that I'm not big specialist for visual artist of Roma. But Miloš Rác and Zoran Tajrovic, he is not Czech, he is Serbian. But
yes, I had him on one of the pictures from Kamoro Festival, the first picture in my presentation. He is wonderful, he is amazing.
Last his exhibition was about the death of the Czech Roma person. So it was, I mean, really, really interesting.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. I have another exercise, but I see I'm running out of time. So I think I'll finish here my presentation, and I'll give the floor to Robert, because actually he is going to continue in the same topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sevda. Thank you. It's easy for me because you already make the link with my presentation. It's about music. You say a lot of things about music, and our guest also. I want to say about this art of Roma people, music. Music, it's as you know, it's a art who are very, very recognized as you know, skilled instrumentalists or singers. In areas where they live, Roma people also are specific crafts. They are also fighters. I want to give some information about fighters and fighter music. There are a lot of information about this, about fighter music. But what the researchers don't know, however, it's a well-known fact for the Roma. Roma music is the art of art within the community, with a ritual character as wedding songs, mourning, or non-ritual, vocal and instrumental. Fiddle music, in another hand, it's an income generating occupation and belonging to professional performers of local popular music. But now I need to stop and take the slides. I need to take control to slides. Thank you, Yorgos. Okay. This is some information, previous information. Fiddle music, if we look in the history, this appeared at 1600 years. Fiddling was considered a shameful occupation as for slaves, and therefore marrying a fiddler was prohibited by strict legal regulation. Next, I will give some essential elements that it's specific for gypsy music. So the music, it's spontaneous. Also have a lot improvisation. That's why currently Roma violinists have chosen jazz, the art of improvisation and variation. the Roma music, it's rich, and also it's varied. Another characteristic it's that have supple and combined rhythms, from suave to passionate, from pathetic to exuberant, from graceful to impetuous. Also another characteristic it's that it's wide interpretive value. Sometimes it imitates the trills of birds. Another one, it's used so-called gypsy range. Historically, all through no large established, the Roma population has long acted as entertainers and craftsmen. In many of the places where Roma live, they have become known as musicians. The great distances covered introduced a multitude of influences, as Byzantine, Greek, Arabic, you see my screen, Turkish, Slavic, Romanian, German, and Dutch. It's difficult to define the parameters of a unified Romani musical style, as there are many differences in melodic, harmonic, rhythmic, and formal structures from the region to another one. The lyrics of Romani songs are often sung in one or more dialects of the Romani language, and dancing frequently accompanied the performance of Roma music. Apart from Romani music for local use in Eastern Europe, a separate Romani music emerged for entertainment at parties and celebration. The music drew its theme from Hungarian, Romanian, Russian, and other sources. It later gained popularity in Western Europe, where many Romani orchestras were active, playing sophisticated melodies of Eastern European origin. Probably, maybe some of you knows the most influential Romani musician was Django Reinhardt. He lived between 1910 and 1953. Original Romani folk songs, which don't come from the countries where the Roma people live, are relatively rare. This particular folk music, it's mainly vocal and consists of slow wailing song and fast song that can be accompanied by dancing. Fast melodies are accompanied by sound, applause, contours, ratchet, wooden spoons, and other techniques. There are 5 main components found through Romani music from different territory in Europe. The first is the use of 3 voices on part, the melodic line, and third and the fifth either through vocalization or instruments. The second, it's a syncopation where the music starts immediately after a beat while maintaining a consistent beat. The third components, it's for the music to be played in different phases, meaning that the entry and exit of different musical themes are felt at different times through a song, either through rhythm or instruments. Another component, it's the fourth component is harmony, where a mirror chord is used instead of a major chord. And the last component is singing, where natural vocal skills are emphasized. The development of Romani music dates back to the playing of instruments such as the lute in the late 40s in Hungary and Italy. Roma play alongside non-Roma and shows. Eventually, as the religion gained traction, performance become less emphasis and sometimes prohibited for non-Roma population, so that Roma occupied all professional entertainment venues. They also performed at live events such weddings, baptisms, funerals, and circumcisions. As there is not a national state for the Roma, they have often been forced to create their own living space in a country where they have settled. Musical and cultural influences were taken from the countries they lived in, incorporated into their own music, such as instruments, languages, and the subject matters of the music itself. And in the next, I will give you some information about Manele. Maybe you know about this style of music. In Romania, it's very well known. It's very widespread genre of pop folk music, and in Balkans, in a country from Balkans, have different names. But as for starting, I want to say that the Manele can be divided into classic Manele and modern Manele. Classical Manele are of Turkish origin, performed by fiddlers in a fiddle-like manner, while modern Manele are a mixture of Turkish, Greek, Arabic, Bulgarian, and Serbian elements, generally using modern instrument and rhythms as electronic rhythms. Similar, let's move. Similar similar music styles are also present in as I said before, in the Balkans. Also, we meet in Bulgaria, in Serbia, in Montenegro, in Albania, in Bosnia, in Greece, also in Turkey. Related genres are Bulgarian, it's chalga. In Greek, they call skiladiko. And then Serbian, the name it's very interesting, called turbo folk. Each mixture of local Greek, Bulgarian, and Serbian folk influence also are very meeting, are very spread. Some words about historic of Manele. Early reference to the terms Manea and Manele appear in Romanian text from the end of the 18th century and the beginnings of 19th century. during the Turkish period when Turkey had sovereign over the Romanian principalities. As a genre of dance music, it was brought by the Fanariot clans of Istanbul. The Manele had no lyrics. Some of these classic Manele have been adapted over the centuries. In the 1960s, a type of mania fiddle appeared by adding text to the jampara, a type of fiddle genre of Turkish origin. Modern Manele emerged in Romanian in the 1980s and the early 1990s as underground translation and imitation of Turkish and Arabic songs. The genre has been rocked by accusation of plagiarism several times, with Manele singers adapting popular songs from Greece, Bulgaria, and Turkey, without giving due credit. The accusation increased especially after the hit. Maybe you hear it. Why are you lying to me? Turned out to be an sampled cover of Despina Vandi's song Mga Pagas. Several accusations of plagiarism surrounded a well-known song by a Manele singer called Upset, which was proven by third parties to have been plagiarized from a Croatian sound called Umoran by Jasmine Stavros. Although this song was not technically a band, it contributed to the controversy surrounding this musical genre and Romania's image. Most radio and television channels or media boycott this kind of music in Romania. Some information about etymology. The word mania, it's of Turkish origin. Mani, it's a form of Turkish folk song in the form of quatrain. The word mania is the singular form and refers to the piece of music itself as belonging to the genus we called Manele. The accent is on the second syllable, mania, and the plural version more often used it's Manele, and plural refers to music genre, plural refers to or more songs, and the adjectival form of the word it's manelist, which is sometimes used in Romanian with a pejorative figurative form. Some characteristic of this genre. Manele, it's a mixture of Eastern Romani folklore and contemporary pop music. The lyrics usually deal with theme of love, enemies, money, alcoholism, and difficulties of life in general. Or some of the songs are specific, dedicated to parties, weddings, funerals, etc. Manele are widely criticized for their lyrical content, which often consists of boasts about the singer's alleged sexual attractions, intellect, wealth, social status, and the superiority over so-called enemies. Many singers used bad grammar, repetitive and simplistic rhythm, to match their chants, and are sometimes vulgar and or misogynistic. Singers sometimes make trailing or screaming sounds during the instrumental parts of their song, which has been parodied many times. Manele also have videos, many of which are of poor quality, while others are recorded in the nightclubs or during private studios. Manele composers also use the term in Romania Oriental music or party music for their creation, and consider the music a subgenre of traditional folk Romani music. Traditional Romani music is usually played on classical instruments by a live band. In Romania, we call tarafor, or in English, fiddlers, and has classical lyrics. Well, Manele, it's usually sung by a single performers using modern instruments. Usually, they use synthesizers as a backup. Most Manele are recorded in as I said before, in small studios, owned by the singers himself or a group of singers, because major record companies refuse to sing them. However, there are some exceptions. If you can imagine, we have also fashion in this genre. Manelists have created a distinct image on the Romani music scene, slowing their own fashion style. Many of Manelists use luxurious or casual, even underground styles completely combined to form the specific Mania fashion. Typical Manele clothing includes flashy jewelry and affordable luxury clothing brands as Versace, Armani, Dolce Gabbana, or a certain sports brand as Nike. Of course, there discussion in Romania. The public opinion, it's very polarity. It's polarized. Manele, it's a highly contested music genre in Romania, with many representatives of the Romanian upper middle class and intellectuals opposing this musical movement. Especially due to the use of faulty grammar, overly simplistic or puerile lyrics and subject matter, or the encouragement of degrading behaviors towards other people, as well as the general anti-social message. The fact that Manele lyrics are considered by many to be rude and in poor taste, along with widespread racist segments against ethnic Roma people, who make up the bulk of Manele performers, has led to increased hostility between fans and opponents. This led to frequent conflict between often in the form of internet flam, you know. In the media, Manele have been repeatedly referred to be journalists and academics as pseudo-music, pure stupidity, uncultured. For example, a member of the Romanian National Broadcasting Council who did a study on the genre of the council considered the genre for it's the considered it's the genre of the people with mental problems. Even proposals even to ban this type of music. Romanian classical musician and politician Madalin Voicu, who is Romani ethnic, tell us that about this genre and about performers. They call performers and they work kitsch and bad taste, bad merchandise, easy to sing and sold only to fools at high price. But considered them harmful, simply music and with who made the brain damage. Also, he called that he said that this kind of music it's a fad and it's ready to disappear in a future. Romani, another example, it's give us by Romanian American professor Cezar Josan, that compares the genre in article from the cultural newspaper, Romanian cultural newspaper Dilema Veche, with the early stages of rock and roll, early rap and reggaeton. The music starting from the excluded classes of society, being shunned by the upper classes for the simple reason of its origin, only to explode into mainstreams later. The same professor, Cezar Josan, considers the genre to be a form of originality from below. The singers having a genuine, rugged and uneducated talent in music, and lyrics being merely a reflection of basic, simply human needs. In a very similar way, Sorin Adam Matei, associate professor of communication at Purdue University in USA, started in his opinion that Manele, it's a simple but lively music generated by the meeting of many cultures, which it has a chance to succeed as a cultural style. If it is polished and cleaned up. About Cezar Josan and Sorin Adam Andrei believe that Manele is a valuable representation of Romani culture and would like to encourage it. We have also opinion of Romanian violinist Florin Niculescu, that said that Manele singers are talented but have no musical education. On Romanian television station, Manele performers and music are seen especially on specialized Manele television stations such as Taraf TV and Manele TV. While mainstream radio station don't broadcast Manele, but plenty of smaller stations do, especially in Bucharest. Occasionally, Manele performers appear on New Year's Eve programs on many television stations. Some officials from some cities in Romania have been banned this music. Also not in public transport and taxis, but in parks, in public places. An opinion given by National Council for Combating Discrimination, who decide about music, who is in Romania, decides that the intention to ban Manele in some cities represents form of discrimination. The ban is discriminatory and violates the right of dignity. I finished my presentation here. Was a lot theoretical information, but now I want to show you practical what means Manele, what is this genre. So Yorgos, please, if you hear me, yes. Please, we have our video.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. So everyone, now I will share with you the video Robert was talking about.
Yeah, it's a video, and after video, I want to send me some question about Manele, if you have some curiosity about this genre of music.
Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Great. Then we can start the video.
Okay. This musician called Sandu Ciorba, it's considered the best player of Manele music in Romania. In this video, I'm sure was not too much jewelry and not too much clothes from well-known brands. If you want to ask me something about this genre, I know that is sure in Romania this genre of music it's very spread it, and also in another country, but in Romania it's the most well known. If you don't have to question for me, I want to move on. I prepare.
Actually, Robert, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You see, I was wondering, because here in Greece, for example, there is some new artists, especially new musicians, emerging musicians. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Can you repeat? Because
yes. I was wondering, because here in Greece, some emerging musicians and young musicians especially tend to follow some different genres nowadays. For example, there is a genre called trad. It's a combination between hip hop and, pop music with traditional sounds from other Balkan countries or from Greece with the bouzouki, for example. And I was wondering during your presentation whether in Romania, for example, are there any examples of people, of musicians that tend to combine, for example, Romani influence and instruments with more modern type of genres, or with Manele, for example?
Basically, this music, Manele music, at this moment, it's we meet in all genre of music in combined. We have rock Manele, we have reggae Manele, we have rock and roll and Manele. We have, so it's possibility to do all. We don't have restriction. A lot people, a lot talented person who have some native skills try to combine for us, something new. It's so we don't have borders here. All it's free. If you have some I don't know, basic skills in for example, to use synthesizers. It's easy. You can do music only with laptop. It's very easy. But this man who sang before, the Sandu Ciorba, as you see, have something in a plus. He become from Roma people minority. So as you see, there are some influence, original influence there. But as I say, it's without border. You can mix any at any moment.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Unfortunately, I imagine in another kind to show the riddles. Also, I have pictures, but at this moment we don't put the quiz, and it's the only option is to read the riddles. So if you are there and if you want to involve, I read the quiz, I read the riddle, and you can write on our chat the answer. Also, I will give the option. Each riddles have 3 options with 1 good answer. It's easy. It's not too complicated, but it's a very interested history about this instrument. Our quiz called musical instruments used by Roma people along the years. So I start. I think I have time, but not enough. But I only try to tell you some. So I start with the first instrument. This instrument is the most widespread musical instrument that is part of the family of stringed instrument. From the documents, it's appeared that the oldest known example was built in 1550s by the Italian Andrea Amati. And if you know give me an answer, and the option is cello, viola, and violin. So you know about Andrea Amati? No. So let me. So yes, Yorgos, it's about viola. Yes, thank you. So 10 points for the Yorgos. Thank you very much, Yorgos. And the next instrument, it's originating in Asia. It's played with specially constructed mallets or other substitute objects in order to achieve unusual sounds. Guess the instrument, if you know. It's a big instrument. It's usually are in the middle of the band, and it's xylophone, cymbalon, or guitar. Of course. Okay. Cimbalo, thank you, Manele. 10 points for you. Another. Okay, Diliana, thank you. Another question. It's another instrument. It's the largest and heaviest instruments in the string and the bow family. It's about double bass, basantar, and viola. I think yes, it's a double bass. Yes, contrabass. Yes. Also, double bass and contrabass is the same. Yes. And another. Yes, contrabass. Yes, perfect answer. And electronic, another one. It's electronic musical instrument that can produce a variety of sounds by generating and combining signals of different frequencies. I say before about if you have one, if you are almost singer, and sure if you know to use. So it's piano, organ, or synthesizer. Yes, synthesizer, thank you. And one more. The oldest musical instrument dating to 15 years before Christmas. The oldest examples that exist are the two pieces discovered in the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Certainly, these ancient instruments, it's very different from today, but the one of the most famous singer, it's Louis Armstrong. Can you give me an answer between cornet, plumpet, and trumpet? Yeah, Diliana, thank you. Thank you, Diliana. And one more. It was designed in 1814 for use in symphonic music, but was largely ignored by composers. First success were in military music. The advent of jazz meant a huge increase in prestige, offering a variety of sounds. It's about trombone, tuba, or saxophone. So first success were in military music. Okay, saxophone, Lisa. Sorry, Lisa, saxophone, yes. No tuba, Sevda, it's saxophone. Another one. Yeah, stringed musical instrument in the lute family, and is generally plucked with a pick. Evolved from lute family instruments in Italy during the 17th and 18th centuries. It's about mandolin, lute, or guitar from Italy. Musical instrument in lute family. And it's about mandolin, guitar, and lute. Okay, Lisa, it's about mandolin. Very, very good. So it's nice. So we have good answers. Thank you. This was my quiz. Thank you for your answers. And I give the floor to Erika and Helen. Sorry for the late, Erika and Helen.
No worry, we will speed up so we can end in time because I know everyone have had a long day. So yeah. Yes, I will start sharing my screen. And there we go. And we will go to the beginning. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So welcome to this third part of the lesson today about creativity. My name is Helen Riise, and I'm here with Erika Pihl. We're from SENSUS. And we would like to speak about the topic of storytelling and creativity through theater. And the two previous presentations has also been about the target group of Romani people, and our target group that we are working with a lot here in SENSUS is persons with mental disabilities. So we will speak a little bit about how we work with drama and theater with these groups to boost creativity and inspiration. So very shortly about SENSUS, we are studying.
So sorry, ladies for interrupting, but we can't see your screen.
Aha, okay, sorry. I did something. Thank you so much.
Of course.
We do like this because, okay, you can have it like this. Hope it's fine for you. Great.
So SENSUS is 1 out of 10 study organizations in Sweden. We have a very proud tradition of that people should get informal education. We call it long life learning. So it can start from when you're a child until you are a senior citizen, that you are able to get informal education throughout your whole life. And therefore, SENSUS arranges courses in all different subjects that all have the aim of boosting self-empowerment, helping people to grow as persons. And we work with all kind of different aspects of life, doing study circles and culture activities. We have core values that are relationships, life issues, civil rights, and sustainability. And SENSUS also work together with many other big organizations in Sweden. For example, the churches all over Sweden, and also the Scouts, to give two very various examples. And this way we meet a lot of people, and we meet a lot of different groups, and we try to create education and culture to fit to all purposes in life. And we have offices all over Sweden, and we are here in Stockholm, SENSUS Stockholm.
Yes.
So what is the methodology to work with drama for education, social awareness, and creativity? We have found that using drama is a very good way to boost both creativity and education. And it involves both cooperation, interactivity, and also it stimulates the brain and the body, since it also involves movement and the plasticity of the body. So drama is a really good way to develop knowledge and understanding. And also the skills you learn when you're working with drama is very transferable. You can use these skills for many other aspects of life. And I will give you a few examples. For example, communications. When you're working with drama, the task is about to tell a story to an audience. And it involves giving a message to other persons. And it's about also to listen to language learning. When you're rehearsing a drama, you have to use your brain to remember your lines. And you also have to interpret what is behind the words. So it's very useful skills to use in other aspects of life. Confidence is another skill that is developed by drama. Because when you're working with drama, sometimes you will stand before an audience. So it will help you to overcome your shyness, for example. And also it boosts the ability to take responsibility for communicating with the group. Also, drama is very good for teamwork and leadership, because when you're working with theater, often you're working together with other people and you have to solve situations together. In this team, you get different roles where somebody is taking the lead of instructing the others, but also you have to solve the different scenes and the story, how you will perform the story, you do it together. So it's actually very transferable to working in group work at your job, for example. Another skill that is really, really important is to learn to listen and to respond to what other people say. This is also what you practice when you're working with drama. You have to hear the other person, the other roles, what they are saying. And you have to respond to them in the right way in order to get the message out to the audience. And of course, drama is a great way of boosting creativity. When you're working with rehearsals, for example, you improvise, you test your roles, you solve problems. So this is an excellent way to learn creative thinking. but also you can develop your critical thinking and the way to solve problems. Because when you're working with drama text, for example, you have to make analysis. You're thinking about your characters. What is the aim of this character? What do I want to transmit to the audience? How will I do this scene so it will be funny, for example? So it's a lot about thinking and turning different aspects to make a really nice play. Time management is also something you learn with drama, because when you're making a play, you have to work towards different deadlines all the time. You have rehearsals, maybe you are going to put up a show in a theater, or maybe it's just making a performance at work for some colleagues. But you still have to work within time frames, and you have to respect deadlines towards each other in the team and towards the audience. Research is also something that you're practicing when you're working with theater. Because, for example, when you're doing a role, a character in a play, you have to do research about your character to find out the psychology behind. Who is this person that I'm going to play? What time do they live in? Is it now or is it historically? What are the opinions of this character? So when you're starting to plan for a play, you're doing a lot of actual research to get the character to be trustworthy so that the audience will believe in this character. Fantastic.
Just gonna see if we can do like this.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And a drama, it can really develop the learner's ability to imagine how it is to be in another person's life and to feel what's motivating them. It's a way to understand people from the inside. I think I need to. And it's also develops self-understanding and your self-esteem. And of course, the group dynamics, how we affect each other in the environment that we are in. Next slide. One way to practice drama is to do role play. Role play is really good for understanding others and highlighting different situations. Actually, role play is something that is often used, for example, in classrooms or at workplaces. For example, if you have a conflict between some co-workers, you can test it to try to play a role to see, to understand what does the other person say, and to listen, and you can create situations where you solve problems in the fantasy, and then when it happens in real life, you can understand each other much better. So now I will give the floor to Erika, who will talk a little bit about how actually we're working with drama with our target groups at Medis 5.
Yes, and all these methods and the research and all of these things, the personal skills that you can gain, is exactly the things that Medis 5 is doing with their groups. And we have had discussions with theater leaders at Medis 5, and they have given us some good advices to adapt when doing drama lessons for persons with mental disabilities, and they are specialized for people with neurological disabilities. And they told us, and I mean, these can be adapted to all kinds of group. So when you work with these kind of people, be clear, have short sessions, and also it's important to describe the process that they will be doing and do it step by step so they understand each step. Don't change the structure. If you have set a structure, keep it like this and discuss with the group if you need to do some changes and how that will affect the procedure. Also take many breaks and take care of the people during the breaks as well. Because you need, even if you have a break, you need to still have a look what is happening and how people are feeling, etc. Also, it's important to take into account that everyone have different learning techniques, and what you need help with, and it can vary very much and be individually. And so when you, for example, do the research phase, you need to adapt it to the people within your group. And one example of how Medis have worked, one of their participants, he can only learn by imitating others. So, for example, for him to learn his role, he makes someone else playing his role, and he imitates that person. So by imitating someone else, he have learned the script. So this is how they work, because they know that they know their groups so good, and know exactly which learning techniques fits everyone the best. Also, when you do, before you start with the work, you need to inform the participants about the practical parts, which time do we have, how does the venue look like. Maybe some of these people, they need to bring a personal assistant. You need to take these people into account as well to the group, and so they fit into the group dynamic. And also to take into account which specific materials the people need, and how can you provide the helping tools that is needed. And Medis, here you can see, this is like the Last Supper, is the well-known picture that Medis have made. This is some of their artists and some of their actors. And Medis is a daily cultural activity for persons with intellectual disabilities, and it's located here in Serban in Stockholm. And they have different projects going on, and they produce artistic, visual, and musical art and other poetic experiences. And their current project is about the Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. So they have a project called Baby It's Cold Outside, where they in an easy way will describe each goal. And they do this by doing different movies, visual art, music, songs, poetry, etc. And this is some of their crew at the theater group of Medis. And the theater group and the movie team, they work with the different film and various projects. And currently, Baby It's Cold Outside project. And they are all filmmakers, artists, and actors. That also, the team is also the ones editing and do the animations for the films. At Medis, they do the script work, the actors, they write the text, and they make the presentation. So they do the whole process from the start to the setup. And their movie team also promote and upload the movies that they have on their own YouTube channels. And we will show you some of their movies in a short. Yes. So here is, we also, when we had discussion with the team from Medis, we asked them, how does the process look like when you take on a new project? First, they have the research phase, and also the personal skill that Helen talked about before, where they do the research, they learn about the specific thing they will work with, in this case, the Sustainable Development Goals. And by doing this, they watch films, reading text, etc., whatever the participants need to do to be able to learn. And after this, each participant look at further facts, and maybe they see that, okay, this specific goal, for example, no gender inequality, I want to research more about, and they do that in their own way. And they get the help they need to do that. After that, they see, okay, which goals have we specified in, and how is the energy, how can we work further with this, and they drag it down and be even more specified. After this, they start the improvise phase, and they let the participants start to improvise, and after the improvisation, they give each other feedback, and they do joint criticism where the participants can go in and say, okay, this scene and this improvisation, can you do like this? Can we, do it in a different way? And depending if they have a like a specific job that someone have asked them to do, this is a more controlled phase by their leaders. But otherwise, if it's not a job, they just do it randomly and have fun with it. After this, they start adding the roles, which one will act in the different roles. And after that, they do the practical thing and they start to learning the script, which depending on the role they have. And here is again the imitation as a good example how they work for one of their participants. After this, they record and they practice, and they do small changes if needed. And then they do the costume and the mask design themselves. They set the design themselves. And after each play, they do always a common discussion and they give each other feedback. And this feedback is one of the most important things that they told us when doing theater together with people with neurological disabilities. Also, it's the body language and the teamwork that you need to check within the team how everyone is feeling. Are someone feeling down, or is the body language like this, or are you up straight? So you need to be very, you need to have an eye for that. It's also important that they lift each other up, that the group is a group where they can trust each other and they can help each other. And the group dynamic again, that they have created a safe and secure space where people can be criticised to each other and so on. Yes, here again is the Baby It's Cold Outside project. And this is their current, it's a very big project that they have got money from the Swedish National Agency to do. And it's about spreading information throughout films and art about the Sustainable Development Goals. So they have taken all these goals down and they have done different creative ways of explaining this. And some of them are movies, and you will see a short movie right now, actually, how they have worked with it. And they often work in very like humoristic ways of explaining like gender inequality in a humoristic way, so the viewer can observe and see. So I will now just do some changes. Do you have some questions or?
This is in Swedish, but we will explain. I think you will see from the images what they are speaking about.
Again, I'm gonna see so I have the computer sound. So this is some explanations of what they have been doing during this project. So
Jobbar med att göra världen bättre. Kolla här.
This is about cleaning the nature.
Ah.
And this is one of the guys working in Medis Fem, and he's specialized in animation. So he do this all the time. And this was a song made from these two goals from a girl named Josephine.
Jag vet inte vart jag ska, men jag kommer att hitta dit. Tillbaka till ljuset, tillbaka till min egen tid. Jag ska riva ner väggen och skapa det nya rummet. Jag ska riva ner väggen och skapa det nya rummet. För jag är awesome, men ska jag bara
Okay, so this was a few of the examples that they have made. We also have another movie that we want to share with you. It's one girl. She's talking about her wedding, her dream wedding, and her dream man. This is with English subtitles, and she's one of the actors at Medis 5. We're gonna show this as well. I hope the sound is still included. And so this is her dream wedding that we will see. So do you hear the sound?
I don't hear the sound.
Okay, wait. Thank you, Sevda, for telling us. Thank you. And we will do again, including. Here we go again.
Buketten har vita och rosa rosor i handen. Jag kliver ur bilen vid kyrktrappan. Jag håller pappa under armen. Jag väntar på min man. Först hittar jag min kille på stan. Jag letar efter ögonen, tittar efter killen på stan. Jag går runt för att se en kille på stan. Sen jag hittar beskriva personen är. Vita skor, svarta byxor, vit klocka. Lite snäll, ja kille. Jag skjuter blick på hjärtat. Jag har det.
And this is the scene 1 where she meets her guy at the town, and he have dark hair and he looks like Big and Noling, and he's calm and very nice.
Vi gör ett inbjudarkort. Mina vänner, släkten får higga ut. Våran vänner, släkten.
And this is just a small way of showing. I'm just gonna fix the microphone so you can hear me better.
This is just one way for you to see how they worked. So with these scenes, you can see that they have before this done a lot of research with her about her dream man. So she's prepared. After that, they have been written the script, the animation. You can see their participants have been doing so. They have done the whole producing the whole thing. And we don't gonna do this with you right now, but I just want to share with you one method that we often use after we have been seeing movies or theaters. And it's these kind of questions, and it can be good reflection questions for you to take with you. And it is, what feeling do I have after this movie or this play? Which feeling sticks within me? Which character left a mark on you, and which scene sticks with you? And this is a good way of reflecting upon, like, what did I see? How is this affecting me, etc. And for the Medis Fem channel, you can see on YouTube as well. I can share the link with you. And I think for us, we didn't have so much more. We have described the process, and I think overall these methods, how you create, how you boost creativity for people with neurological disabilities, it's the same for all of us. And I think these methods can be used for a lot of groups, and it's very good to take with us into our work life and so on. So
it's often used also, as I said before, like in schools or at workplaces. So it's like a well-proven method to boost creativity and learning. So does anybody have any questions? No?
No.
All clear then?
I have a question. One is reflection. It's just to say that I really like the project your people are doing. They're really impressive. And as you said, the methods are universal. And me personally, I'm following some of them, but some things were new for me, so I'm really interested. And I was really moved from the movie. My question was, actually, I had a question, and my question was, let's say this last movie you showed, for how long time it was created? How long time did it take?
Oh, I don't know, but for example, this, I don't know, but the process is long, and it's much time into. And for example, this Baby It's Cold Outside project, it's a 4-year project that they have, and they have done 1 year with only research for their participants, and they have in total 30 participants for the whole art field. And so, for that large projects, they take 1 year of only research and doing like the preparation work. So I can assume maybe 6 months at least. Yes, I think that's all from us. And I think anyone else want to ask anything?
Any questions or comments, everyone?
If it's not too much, I'm also interested. How do you motivate them to participate for so long, 4 years? It's incredibly big part of human life.
These people coming here to Medis Fem, this is their job. This is like their daily activity. So they get salary from the municipality or the state to be here. So first of all, they need to be here because this is their workplace. And also the leaders working with them always work with motivations. If someone is not showing up, they can spend hours and hours just to try to reach these persons. During COVID, for example, they visited all of the participants' home or stood outside to have the interaction still. So they work a lot with motivation, and I think the group is so well connected and they know each other. So it's like you go to a place where all your friends are, and they have they work a lot with the relationship.
And they are quite famous, actually. They get international visits almost every week. Last week it was a French delegation looking at their artwork, they have made a bio tapet, you know, the bio. So they do fantastic work. So they're kind of professional in their own, in their own trade.
And their leaders are amazing. They work 24/7 with these people. They're doing the amazing job.
And Erika and Helen, can I ask as well?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. How big is such a group of people? How many people do you have in such a group, and how many leaders are in one group?
They have specific group. For example, their art group. They are they're only the painters and the artists, like the art group. There are 10 to 12 people in that one, and the movie and theater group. There are 10-ish, something like this, maybe smaller, 7. And the music group, they have 2 different groups. And they are 5 to 7 at least. So I think somewhere between 25 to 30 people in total, but they are divided into different groups depending on which field they are professional in.
And when the project finished, then they are oriented to another one, or how it works?
Yeah, they are applying for like EU funded projects or projects funded by the national agency. And all of these groups, they have at least 2 leaders that are and they are in the profession as well. For the art group, they have an artistic leader and so on. Yeah.
Thank you, very interesting. Thank you.
Any other comments, anyone? No? Okay then. So I guess we can proceed with the closing of the meeting. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for joining in today's session. And of course, I would like to thank Sevda, Robert, Ellen, and Erika for the very interesting presentations for a very important and significant topic. And your presentations were well-rounded and covered many different topics about all these target groups. So thank you for that. Great job. Before leaving, I would like to remind you that I pasted once more the links to the attendance list and the evaluation form in the chat. Please, if you haven't filled any of them yet, do so. Take a few minutes and sign the attendance list and fill in the evaluation form because it's really important for us. And last but not least, I would like to ask all of you, if all those who want to open your cameras in order to take a screenshot for the promotional purposes. It will be very nice to have you all. So if you can start opening your cameras and I take a screenshot. Thank you, Erika. Okay, anyone else?
I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Okay, don't worry.
Again, it's almost always.
It's okay. Okay, so this was all. Now I would like to remind you that there is one more session of the Open Art Studio series remaining. This will be held this Thursday, December the 1st, by the partners from Italy and from Croatia. If you haven't registered, you can just contact me or fill the registration form. And it will be really nice to have you in our last session on Thursday too. Thank you again for joining today. Thank you very much. So bye everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you and bye. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Sevda and Robert. Great work. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jagros, for everything. Bye.